Let me play you a few songs. What do these songs remind you of? If you're anything like me, you're likely to say FIFA, the video game series that has captivated the world for over 20 years now. Many contribute its success to its innovative gameplay, its multiplayer options, and its online engagement. And while there are many frustrations with EA Sports, one aspect of the game has never failed to deliver: the soundtrack. From the national anthems to the stadium chants to the Champions League anthem to even this. It's coming home, it's coming home, it's coming. It's evident, football and music go hand in hand. And over the last few decades, one thing in specific shaped the sound of football like nothing else in the past.
EA Sports. EA Sports. EA Sports. It's in the game.
EA Sports started the FIFA franchise in 1993, but like many others from my generation, FIFA 98 was the gateway drug. And even though FIFA 98 had some timeless tunes, it wasn't until the early 2000s when EA Sports became a lot more intentional with their choice of music in their games. And one guy in specific had a big part to play in this strategic move.
My name is Steve Schnurr, and I am the Worldwide Executive of Music and Music Marketing for Electronic Arts, otherwise known as EA. We say that I'm responsible for every single note in every single one of our games.
At a time when many could not comprehend the scope of the gaming industry, Steve knew that millions around the world would be getting exposed to the artist's music. As he puts it, no other medium in the history of recorded music has delivered such instantaneous global exposure. And with Steve Schnurr, this is Sybel Peters, the senior music supervisor of EA Sports. In an interview, Sybel says that initially they struggled to convince the record labels about putting the songs out, but today they receive thousands of songs from artists and labels alike, often isolating a specific track and saying, "This sounds like a FIFA song." And that brings us to the question, what does a FIFA song sound like? Generally, the soundtrack will feature a diverse range of genres, from upcoming bands to established acts from all around the world. But at the core of it all, the FIFA sound will have a few characteristics. Number one, it needs to be easy listening. Not to the point of being a radio pop song, but it just about hits the sweet spot to avoid polarizing opinions about the track. It needs to be global and relevant, but more on that later. And it needs to be rhythmic with a high BPM. We made this chart using every single FIFA song that came out since 1998, and the BPMs check out to be between 120 and 140 on average. Without going too deep into the human psychology, studies have shown that pleasant music that sits between that range of BPM tend to create feelings of excitement and happiness. And that's why browsing through the menu feels like an activity of its own, and not like a chore. Imagine instead of browsing the menu with this in the background, you had this. Not really a song that you can associate with FIFA or football as we know it. However, that was a song from the FIFA 97 playlist. From 1993 to 1997, EA Sports only used songs they recorded in-house. And it was only from FIFA 98 when EA Sports decided to add music as the soundtrack from different kinds of bands. Today, many bands, despite their own successes, are known because of their appearance on FIFA games. Give this a try. Go to a YouTube video of any of your favorite FIFA songs, then scroll down to the comment section. You are bound to see at least one comment acknowledging the fact that they were on that video because of FIFA. That impact is undeniable. And for some, appearing on FIFA changed their careers.
I heard you in FIFA. There have been bands from Switzerland we've put in FIFA that are getting emails and participation in blogs from Brazil and Japan. I'll tell you a great example just happened. There was an artist we put from Trinidad in FIFA last year, and he ended up performing recently at the World Cup. And has never gotten radio exposure, nothing, only in FIFA last year. And he wrote me a note and said, if you could have only seen tens of thousands of people singing every word to the song I was singing that was in FIFA. So, I mean, it's that level of exposure.
And while there is no denying that FIFA provides a platform for new artists, it also wastes no time in flexing some big names too. They've historically featured famous acts like Oasis, Radiohead, and Robbie Williams. And this year alone, in FIFA 19, they're featuring names like Gorillaz, Childish Gambino, Logic, and J. Cole. They even got Academy Award winner Hans Zimmer to compose a special Champions League theme for the game as well.
What we had was 68 of the most amazing musicians that you can ever get into a studio. They are very carefully picked. The ones that played on anything from The Lion King to Batman movies. In fact, it's that brass section that does that naughty Inception sound. I suppose you could call it, I'm just Zimmerizing it. You can have a little bit more attitude in it. There are football players on the screen.
No big deal. And because of the broad range of artists and genres, the game became a place to discover new music.
Most people don't want to be musical followers. They want to hear something for the first time, and they get excited, and they love the idea that they have bragging rights to others, particularly gamers. That was the first and foremost reason why we decided that musical discovery, what better real estate? Aside from a great gaming experience, that is the first and foremost reason why they're buying it. You know, because they discovered, hypothetically, one or two bands last year that inevitably became their favorite bands. Wow, I wonder who I'm going to discover this year.
For me and many others at the time, it was through years of this discovery that the music from FIFA gradually became the sound of football. Let's take the example of British band KASABIAN. The band's music has been featured in the movie Gold, released in 2005, been used in the stadiums of Arsenal, Benfica and Leicester City as entrance music for players, and one of their songs in specific was used as the official Premier League theme song in 2010. You probably know which one I'm talking about. But before all this, in any mainstream football capacity, the band was featured way back in 2003 with the release of FIFA 2004. This was even a year before the band released the song themselves. That speaks volumes about EA Sports' ability to predict the global music trends. Without getting too technical, think of the post-punk revival of the early 2000s, a time when bands like the White Stripes and the Strokes were slowly gaining worldwide popularity. EA Sports saw this coming, so in the late 90s they moved from its heavy reliance on electronic and house genres that sounded like this to slowly incorporating sounds like this in the mid-2000s.
No, you could have been a wonder, taking your circus to the sky.
The same thing happened with the eruption of Tropical House in 2015. Kygo, one of the artists who popularized the genre, got into the scene in 2014, and by 2015 he was already featured in the game. Now, Tropical House isn't as popular anymore, but surely anything that sounds like this should take you back a few years. And perhaps that's the key right there. The music within not only impacts the football, but also impacts us. To remind us of happier, simpler times. Times when we first fell in love with football. The times when we first discovered new worlds through new sounds. And perhaps that's why we still remember these tracks. Because more than being just a soundtrack of a video game, they became the playlists of our childhood. Hey guys, this is Tawsif from Plaantik. I just wanted to say thank you for all the support that you've given us. It would really help us out to create original content like this if you subscribe to our channel. If you haven't already, give this a like, leave a comment as to what kind of new content you want to see from us. We're also very active on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and we will catch you everywhere else that's on social media. So thank you again, and as always, keep calm and don't miss the Plaantik.